when you've got a problem and you're working with fractions and that they're both the same, they either both need to be fractions or they both need to be decimals. And honestly, most chapters, most problems you're going to find like this, it doesn't matter which one you pick. In fact, if you've got fractions with a denominator that doesn't go into 10, 100, or 1,000, like thirds or sevenths, then fractions are going to give you a more accurate answer. However, since they're teaching it to you in the decimals chapter, the majority of their fractions actually have denominators that work. So I would recommend, unless they specifically say change everything to decimals and work it that way, I would recommend decimals, unless you've got like thirds or something like that. And I see 1/3 in the textbook and everything else is tens, hundreds, thousands. So let's try a couple. Here I've got 2.5 times 3 5/8. And I would like to work this problem out. And so I am going to, I know that 8 goes into 1,000. I never remember what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and figure out what 5/8 is. 8 goes into 5. 8 goes into 56 times, that's 48. 8 goes into 22 times, that's 16. And I know that every time I do 8, I got to take it out to 3. But it'll be done in 3. This is 625. Now, if this part of this fraction, this number, this mixed number, is 0.625, then this whole thing is 3.625. If this is that part, then this is that part. So now my problem is 2.5 times 3.625. 2.5. Nope, I only need it that far. 5 times 5 is 25, 10, 12, 31, 18, placeholder, 10, 5, 12, 7, 5, 2, 6, 10, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my answer is 9.0625. So step 1 for this is change your fraction to a decimal. Step 2 is combine decimal and whole number. And then step 3 is going to be multiply your decimals, or whatever the operation is. It could be adding, it could be anything. So what if you end up with one of these fractions with the denominator that doesn't easily make 10, 100, or 1,000? We're going to solve one like we're solving fractions. We're going to turn this into a fraction so that we can work these two together. So we're multiplying these together, so it's important to remember that we can't multiply mixed numbers. We have to make them improper fractions. So when it's easy enough here, we're going to do the circle thing. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16 thirds. But this number, the first number that we come up with, this is our whole number, and this is our fraction, 375 over 1,000. There's 3 spots, there's 3 zeros. So that's over 1,000. Now, this isn't an improper fraction yet. If we do the circle thing here, 3 times 1,000 is 3,000 plus 375 equals 3,375 over 1,000. Here's what I need you to see. I need you to see the shortcut. You don't have to, but it's easier. Notice that this and this number are the same number. Knowing that this is 3 whole numbers, it's 3 thousands. This is going to be your 3,000 number. You can take this whole number and put it over this decimal when you build your fraction, and you will end up with an equivalent fraction. Now, this goes away, because we've converted it, and now we've got our two fractions that we can multiply. And I know that 4 goes into this, and 4 goes into this. 4 goes into 125 times. And 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 7 is 13, plus 5 is 18, so 3 goes into both of these numbers. Short division, here we go. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 7 twice with 1 left over, 3 goes into 15 5 times. So I end up with 1125 times 4 over 250. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10. 4 and 1 is 5, and that's a 4 over 250. I'm going to divide them both by 10. And 25 goes into 450. And here we go. Nope. 25 goes into 45 once with 20 left over. 25 goes into 208 times. So our answer here is 18. So it's not horrible if you have to turn them into fractions. It's just not convenient, and many of us like decimals better than fractions. So there aren't that many fraction problems. And then we get to the homework. And in looking at the homework, section A asks us to find decimal notation, turn all these fractions into decimals, and some of them go straight from tenths, hundredths, thousandths into a decimal, and others we're going to have to do some long division. Section B starts by asking us to round each number to the nearest tenth, hundredth, and thousandth. Let me walk you through this bar. .24 bar means 0.242424, and everything that's under the bar gets repeated. So if it gives you 0.24 and it asks you to round to the nearest hundredth, and you have to look next door, this next number is a 2. So when you round it off, it ends up being 0.24. However, if you've got 0.969696, if you've got 0.96 bar, when you look next door, this number is a 9. So this is going to round to 0.97. So I need you familiar with the bar enough that you can write the number out so you can see what you're looking at, so you can round correctly, okay? And then they give you a few word problems, and they're essentially asking you to find the ratio, and which looks like a fraction, and then make that ratio into a decimal. And there we have it. And we're on to 5-6 next.